Hello everyone, konnichiwa. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey to the land of the rising sun, Japan. So, grab your virtual passport and let's dive in. First things first, where exactly is Japan? If you look at a world map, you'll find it in East Asia, an archipelago floating in the Pacific Ocean. As an island nation, it doesn't share any land borders with other countries. Its closest neighbors across the sea are Russia to the north and Korea and China to the west. Japan is made up of thousands of islands, but there are four main ones you should know: Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu. Honshu is the largest and home to most of the population and major cities. Now, a common misconception is Japan's history as a colony. Unlike many of its neighbors, Japan was never colonized by a Western power. In fact, during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, it built its own empire. Key milestones included the 1910 annexation of Korea, the occupation of Taiwan after 1895, and the invasion of Manchuria in the 1930s. During World War II, Japan's military sweep across Southeast Asia and the Pacific brought territories like the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia under its control, with Japan portraying itself as a liberator from Western colonial rule. However, the brutal reality of occupation, marked by military rule, economic exploitation, and widespread human rights abuses, left a lasting impact. The legacy of this period remains complex, with historical tensions and memories of suffering continuing to shape regional relations. This period of expansion and militarization ultimately led to its involvement in World War II, which began in 1939. A pivotal moment was the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, which brought the United States into the war. The conflict was devastating, culminating in the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, which led to Japan's surrender and the end of the war. After the war, under Allied occupation, Japan underwent significant political and social reforms, transforming into the peaceful, democratic nation we know today. The political system is a constitutional monarchy, similar to the UK. There's an emperor who serves as a ceremonial head of state, but the real political power lies with the Prime Minister and the Diet, which is Japan's parliament. In terms of corruption, Japan is known for its low levels of corruption and high degree of transparency, ranking very well on global indexes. Let's talk numbers. The bustling heart of the nation is Tokyo, the capital city. The Greater Tokyo area is the most populous metropolitan area in the world, with a staggering population of around 37 million people. As for the entire country, the latest census puts Japan's total population at about 125 million. Now, for the travelers out there, let's talk money and time. Japan's currency is the yen. As of now, $1 gets you around 157 yen, and conversely, 1 yen is worth just a fraction of a US cent. So keep that in mind when you're budgeting. Time-wise, Japan is 9 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT +9. If you're flying from London, the best way to get to Japan is usually a direct flight. A direct non-stop flight from London to Tokyo takes about 11.5 to 13 hours, depending on the airline, route, and wind. If the trip includes one stop, the total travel time is usually 14 to 18 hours or more, depending on the layover duration and connecting airport. Airlines like Japan Airlines, All Nippon Airways, and British Airways offer non-stop services. A direct flight takes about 14 hours. Prices can vary wildly depending on the season and how far in advance you book, but you can expect to pay anywhere from $800 to $1,500 for a round-trip economy ticket. And the big question, do you need a visa? Well, for many of you, the answer is no. If you're a tourist from countries like Australia, the United States, Canada, the UK, most of Europe, and even some Middle Eastern countries like the UAE, you can enter Japan for up to 90 days without a visa. Just make sure your passport is valid. So, when is the best time to go? Honestly, Japan is beautiful year-round. But spring, from March to May, is magical with its iconic cherry blossoms. Autumn, from September to November, is another favorite, with crisp air and stunning fall colors. Upon arrival, you'll likely land at one of Japan's major international airports, like Narita or Haneda. In Tokyo, or Kansai near Osaka, these airports are major hubs connecting the world to Southeast Asia and beyond. What is Japan most famous for? That's a long list. It's a place where ancient traditions meet futuristic technology. Think serene temples and gardens, bullet trains, neon-lit cityscapes, amazing food, anime, and manga. The major cities each have their own unique charm. Tokyo is the vibrant, endless metropolis. Kyoto is the cultural heart, filled with historic temples and gates. Osaka is the lively, foodie capital, famous for its street food and nightlife. Each city offers a completely different vibe. Of course, you can't talk about Japan without mentioning its landmarks. Mount Fuji is the undisputed icon, a perfectly conical volcano that has inspired artists for centuries. Other must-see include the Fushimi Inari Shrine in Kyoto with its thousands of red torii gates, the tranquil Arashiyama, Bamboo Grove, and the historic Himeji Castle. Getting around is a dream. Japan's public transport system is one of the best in the world. The Shinkansen, or bullet train, is incredibly fast and efficient for traveling between cities. A Japan Rail Pass can be a cost-effective option for tourists. Inside cities, the subway systems are clean, punctual, and extensive. A single subway ride in Tokyo costs around 200 yen, or about $1.50. Japan has a universal healthcare system that ensures all residents have access to medical services through public health insurance. The system is funded by government contributions, employers, and individuals, with patients usually paying a small copayment. Japan is recognized for its high life expectancy, advanced medical technology, and efficient healthcare delivery. With a strong focus on preventive care and regular health checkups, Japan's education system is highly structured and emphasizes discipline, academic excellence, and moral education. Schooling is compulsory for 9 years, covering 6 years of elementary school and 3 years of junior high school. After that, most students continue to senior high school, followed by higher education at universities, junior colleges, or vocational schools. The system is known for strong standards in mathematics, science, and technology, as well as a culture of respect, group harmony, and student responsibility. Let's talk about things to do. For nature lovers, Japan has beautiful national parks like Fujihakanezu and Nikko. If you're into hiking, an adventure up a mountain like Mount Fuji is an unforgettable experience. Japan is a skier's paradise, famous for its Japao powder snow. Top destinations like Hokkaido's Nisako and Hokuba's Japanese Alps offer world-class skiing and snowboarding with heavy snowfall and breathtaking scenery. Japan's ski resorts seamlessly blend modern amenities with traditional charm, offering hot springs, delicious local cuisine, and efficient transport. This winning combination of world-class skiing and rich cultural heritage makes Japan a top winter sports destination in Asia. Japan's temples are iconic cultural landmarks known for their refined wooden architecture, landscaped gardens, and historical significance. Many date back hundreds of years and feature elements such as curved roofs, stone pathways, gates, and tranquil courtyards that reflect traditional Japanese design and craftsmanship. Located in cities like Kyoto, Nara, and Tokyo, as well as in scenic rural areas, these temples attract visitors for their artistic beauty. Seasonal views, festivals, and role in preserving Japan's history, aesthetics, and sense of harmony with nature. Admission to temples and shrines is often very reasonable, usually just a few hundred yen, or sometimes even free. Japan's wildlife is just as special. You might see the famous snow monkeys or Japanese macaques bathing in hot springs in Jigakudani Monkey Park. Other native animals include the Japanese siro, a gotantelope, and the tanuki or raccoon dog. The country is also dedicated to protecting endangered species like the Iriomote cat and the red-crowned crane. A visit to a wildlife park like the Asayama Zoo might cost about 1,000 yen. For a unique cultural experience, check out Japanese wrestling, known as Puroreso. Another type to Japanese wrestling called sumo. It is Japan's national sport characterized by its rich history, unique rituals, and competitive wrestling style where wrestlers rikishi aim to force their opponent out of a circular ring-do-yo. Sumo wrestling is a unique and integral part of Japanese identity, combining athleticism with rich cultural traditions. It continues to be celebrated both in Japan and around the world, drawing interest from fans and newcomers alike. For those interested in experiencing sumo firsthand, attending a tournament is highly recommended, as it offers a glimpse into this fascinating sport and its traditions. It's a dramatic, hard-hitting style that evolved after World War II and has a passionate fan base. It's less about sport and more about storytelling and fighting spirit. And we can't forget the indigenous people of Japan, the Ainu. Primarily from Hokkaido, they have a rich culture with unique customs, music, and animist beliefs. Visiting a cultural center like Upapoi is a great way to learn about their history and traditions. Okay, let's get to one of the best parts. The food. You have to try everything. From street food like takoyaki and yakitori, to a perfect bowl of ramen or fresh sushi. Don't be afraid to wander into a tiny restaurant in a back alley. That's often where you find the best meals. And for a special treat, try a Japanese melon. They can be incredibly expensive, but they are considered a luxury fruit and are unbelievably sweet and juicy. So, is Japan expensive? It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Accommodation ranges from budget-friendly capsule hotels and hostels to traditional ryokan inns and luxury hotels. You could budget around $70 to $150 per day for a mid-range trip, covering food, transport, and attractions. And yes, Japan is an incredibly safe country to travel in, with very low crime rates. Even solo female travelers often report feeling very comfortable. Economically, Japan is a powerhouse. It has the fourth largest economy in the world by nominal GDP. It's a world leader in the automotive and electronics industries. Japan's gross domestic product GDP, the total value of all goods and services the country produces, is among the largest in the world. According to the International Monetary Fund, Japan's nominal GDP in 2025 is about $4.28 trillion, with a growth rate of roughly 1.1% and a GDP per capita around $34,700. This makes Japan one of the top 5 economies globally by nominal GDP, though it was recently overtaken by countries like India in rankings due to slower growth and currency effects. Did you know that the Japanese passport is one of the most powerful in the world? It regularly tops the list for visa-free or visa arrival access to a huge number of countries. This is thanks to Japan's strong global reputation, political stability, and trusted international relations. So, how do you get a Japanese passport? First, you need to become a Japanese citizen. This can happen by birth to Japanese parents or through naturalization, which requires long-term residence. Good conduct, financial stability, and passing language and integration checks. For those dreaming of living here, obtaining Japanese citizenship is a long process, typically requiring you to live in the country for at least 5 consecutive years, among other strict requirements. Once you've obtained Japanese citizenship, applying for a passport is relatively straightforward. You can apply through local municipal offices or Japanese embassies abroad. The process typically takes around 2 to 3 weeks, and you'll receive your passport in about 5 to 10 working days after submitting your application. Now, let's break down the costs. Japan doesn't charge a government fee for citizenship, but applicants typically incur administrative costs ranging from a few hundred to a few $1,000s. For the passport, there are 2 options: a 5-year passport and a 10-year passport, each with its own admin fee. 11,000 yen to 12,000 yen for a 5-year passport and 16,000 yen to 20,000 yen for a 10-year passport. So why do so many travelers love Japan? It's the perfect blend of profound history and hypermodernity. It's the kindness of the people, the efficiency of daily life, the beauty of nature, and the sheer deliciousness of the food. There's a feeling you get in Japan that's hard to describe, a sense of peace, wonder, and respect, all at the same time. To conclude, Japan is a country that will surprise and delight you at every turn. It's a place that engages all your senses and leaves a lasting impression. From its ancient temples to its futuristic cities, from its serene landscapes to its bustling streets, Japan offers an experience like no other. I hope it inspired you to plan your own adventure. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and subscribe and ring the bell too, for next adventure. See you next time. Morikondo.